So what do you mean by this national depository centers? Every book, every magazine, every newspaper that is published anywhere in India, no iron, there is no wood, it has been entirely built with granite, and it's an important landmark and a religious place in Chennai. Now this Kapali temple is believed to have existed in some form or the other from the 1st century itself. Some very interesting and important places in the city of Chennai. I have written a novel. Hi friends, welcome. First of all, a happy Pravasi Bharatiya Divas to all my NRI friends. So it is celebrated every year on January 9th, and there is an event which happens once every 2 years. And the significance of January 9th being chosen as the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, or the Overseas Citizens of India Day, is because it was on January 9th, 1915 that Mahatma Gandhi came back from South Africa to Bombay to lead the freedom struggle of India, and that is why in memory of that, January 9th is celebrated every year as the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. So a happy Pravasi Bharatiya Divas to all my NRI friends out there. So I started this channel with 7 wonderful facts about Chennai, very interesting facts about Chennai. In continuation of that, I wanted to just bring some 7 more interesting places in the city of Chennai, or Madras as it was earlier called. The first one is about a police station in Triplicane. So this police station, which is called the D1 police station, was built in the year 1890. It is one of the oldest police stations in the entire country. There are of course few police stations which are older than this, but in Chennai definitely this is the oldest police station, and it is still functional, and it's one of the important landmarks in Chennai. Secondly, there is a library called Nandimara Library. Now all these things are named as Nandimara because Lord Nandimara was one of the governors of Madras province, a very famous governor at that point of time. In fact, the D1 police station also was inaugurated by Lord Nandimara in 1890. The foundation for the Nandimara Library was laid by Lord Nandimara in 1890, and it has been functional since 1896. It is one of the oldest libraries in the country, and it is one of the 4 national depository centers. In India, we have 4 national depository centers, one in Delhi, one in Kolkata, one in Mumbai, and the other one is the Nandimara Library in Chennai. So what do you mean by this national depository centers? Every book, every magazine, every newspaper that is published anywhere in India, 2 copies of that has to be sent to each of these national depository centers. So every publication in India, there will be a copy available in these 4 national depository centers, and one of them is the Nandimara Library in Chennai. Now 3 interesting religious places in Chennai. The first of them is what is called as the Big Mosque in Triplicane, which was built in 1795 by the Nawabs of Arcot. Now what is so unique about this mosque? It's of course the oldest mosque in Chennai, but more importantly, this mosque has been entirely built with granite. There is no iron, there is no wood, it has been entirely built with granite, and it's an important landmark and a religious place in Chennai. The second one is something which we have already seen in the first video about St. Thomas Basilica. So St. Thomas was one of the 12 disciples, direct disciples of Jesus Christ. He is believed to have come to India and preached in Little Mount, and was believed to have martyred in St. Thomas Mount in 72 CE, that is the Common Era. And this St. Thomas Basilica, which is believed to have been constructed somewhere around the 16th century, is one of the 3 basilicas or churches which have been built on the apostle of Jesus Christ. The one is of course St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, in Vatican City. The other one is a church which is there in Spain, and this is the third one which has been built directly on the tomb of an apostle of Jesus Christ, and that is the St. Thomas Basilica in Santhome, which was built in the 16th century. And the third, which is closely linked to this Santon church and very nearby also, is the Kapali Shura temple. Now, this Kapali Shura temple is believed to have existed in some form or the other from the 1st century itself, and the present structure was built in the 16th century. In fact, the legend has that Triniana Samantha, who is a very big Shaivite monk, he visited Mylapore in the 7th century, and he actually, there was one girl who wanted to marry Triniana Samantha, but unfortunately due to a cobra bite she passed away, and the father of that girl had retained the ashes of that girl, and it is believed, the legend is that Triniana Samantha sang a song in praise of Lord Kabalishwarar and brought back the girl to life. This is of course a legend, but it's steeped in history and Tamil culture, so to speak. So this is one of the oldest landmarks in Chennai. One more fascinating thing about the Kapalishwara temple is that there is a tank here which was built in 18th century on a land which was gifted by the Nawab of Karnataka. And for the last 200 years, even till today, when the Moharram procession happens of the Muslims, it is used by the temple for the rest of the year, but when the Moharram procession happens, they take a holy dip in the same tank, and it's a fantastic display of the secular values that we as a society have been following and should follow. Then comes Raj Bhavan, which is the present governor's house. Now, can you believe in 1821 this was taken over by the Madras government for a loan default by a borrower? I mean, seems to be the Malaya of that era, who defaulted on the loan, and this was taken over by the Madras province, as it was called, or presidency as it was called then, the Madras government under the British rule. And it used to be a country house, which means a house outside the city limits, which was used by the governors for relaxing and working. And now it is the actual governor's house of Tamil Nadu. And finally, it is about what is called as the ICE house. It is now called as Vivekananda house or Vivekananda Illam, because Swami Vivekananda, when he visited Chennai, he is believed he lived there for around 9 days. But it was constructed in 1835 until 1880, for a full 45 years. This was the place where ice was stored, right? It was imported because there was no refrigeration at that point of time. Ice blocks were imported from London and other places, and it was stored in this place before being used by the Britishers. So these are some very fascinating facts about the city of Chennai, some very, very interesting and important places in the city of Chennai. I have written a novel. I have released a teaser of that on January 1st, which many of you might have watched. It travels through these historical places in Chennai. Of course, it's a mystery novel, but it brings all these places as part of the entire narrative. So I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. I'll see you again with another video next week. Thanks for watching.